I said, no, we're going to live in my car. So me and my sister lived in my car for about 2 more weeks. And then I got to a point running out of money. My sister was about to start high school. I had no idea what to do. Yes, I am starting a podcast. I'm Brittany, and welcome to the Triple Goddess Podcast. I've been wanting to do this for so long, but I've been so scared. So now somehow I've had the ambition, the motivation, the inspiration to just say, let's do it. So we're here. Today's first episode, I'm going to talk about me. That's what today is about. Who am I? What am I about? Why did I start this? And how it's all connected. First off, I want to start with a card. So the other thing is every podcast, every episode, I should say, I'm just going to choose a card randomly out of these. They're from the Bar Blend Beachbody collection. I love this. Elise, she's my girl. I love Beachbody. It just got a little expensive for me. Not sponsored at all with this. No longer a coach anyway. It just didn't fit into alignment with me, but it really did help me lose the body weight, find myself after having my child. So if you're looking, let me know. I have someone that can help you out. Anyway, the card that I'm choosing today's episode is I am powerful. I am powerful. My thoughts, feelings, and actions create my future. 100%. So, if you don't know about me, my name is Brittany McAllister, which is Scottish. I was born and raised in Newport, Vermont. I've pretty much been a couple other places. I've moved around a lot here, starting at a young age, living here with my mom and dad. My sister was born when I was 5, and then she was with us for a few years before my parents split. So when my parents split, I moved to Maine with my mother. I loved it there. I lived in Harrison, Maine. Literally the best little town you could ever grow up in. I had the best friends. Literally, you could just ride your bike into town together and not have a care or worry. Like literally the parents would help call each other, let them know what was going on. Like it was just the greatest place to grow up. I needed that so bad because of what was going to happen in my life. I had no idea. I lived there until freshman year of high school. Sorry, the year before my freshman year of high school. What happened? Poor mom. My mom, I love her so much, and she's done so much for me and my sister. She's practically raised me, my sister, and my father for most my young adult life. I had graduated middle school. I don't really remember all the details, but I remember she didn't go to my 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade, guys. This is all raw. 8th grade graduation. It was so beautiful. I was at Bridgeton, Maine middle school, and they literally had these beautiful doors outside, and it was like the most beautiful day. And I'm in Maine, I don't really have family there. I have friends that I've known for a while, but I also was new to this new school because we just moved again. Well, I went to high school, we go to a middle school. There's a lot of new people. But the thing is that she didn't go to that. And when I had gotten home, I got a ride from someone else they had gotten off the boat from boating. So I told my mother that I was going to go live with my father in Vermont, even though that him and my stepmom didn't really have the best situation. I didn't care. I wanted to see what it was like to live with him because I've never lived with my father, really. We would go, me and my sister would go meet him every other weekend with my mother. We would drive 3 hours every other weekend to visit my father. Sometimes he wouldn't show up. Sometimes he was a few hours late. I hung out with my old friends that I've known. And to be honest, I don't remember my freshman year of high school. Between smoking weed and partying, like just drinking alcohol all the time. And I've never touched anything heavier. Never touched anything heavier. Other than I do think I had a bad trip. I smoked weed for like the third, fourth time when I was in high school, my freshman year, and I believe it was laced with ecstasy. The craziest trip I've ever had. But other than that, I've never touched nothing heavier. And I don't ever plan to. Weed does it for me. I like different strains. Sometimes I need a little bit stronger. Maybe mushrooms, microdosing, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, my freshman year was rough. Coming into my second year of high school, I guess I had some academic, I needed someone to help me read, and I forgot they're a paraeducator. I had one. So this teacher, she had known me for my freshman year and going into my sophomore year. She knew me. She knew who I am, who I truly was, like on the inside. So she looked at me one day after she got my progress report. She said, "Brittany, what the hell are you doing with your life? Like, you're so smart. Why are you doing all this?" And I looked at her and I said, I wanted to make my dad happy. Like, I wanted to do what he thought I needed to do, because he thought that me being a freshman high schooler needed to go party and enjoy my years and blah, 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 when I just wanted to be home studying, learning history, and nerding out being a homebody. But I'm glad he did that, because I'm glad I got that out of my system and moved on, because I wouldn't be the lady I am today, you know. I never really understood that till like these past few years. But moving on, after that conversation, I had a big wake-up call. I decided to turn my life around. I had met someone, I'm not going to mention the name, but actually rarely, like, it was probably like my first true relationship. So, you know me, this is probably the worst time of my entire life. I don't want to talk about it too much in this one, but very, very, very abusive relationship where I couldn't call anyone. I had to be here and here certain times. I had restrictions on my phone, verbally abused, physically abused, sexually abused, you know, even being with your own partner, that can happen. And it was like 3.5, maybe 4 years. I believe I was 3.5. I think it was almost 3.5 years I was with this person. If you've ever been into an abusive or bad relationship, you get it. And I actually got emancipated when I was 15. And to do that in the state of Vermont, you have to live on your own pretty much for, I think, 3 months before you can start the the paperwork. I actually had a counselor, because I've actually had a counselor my whole life. You're only gonna get all this stuff on me on this podcast. I used to suck my thumb literally until I was probably 20. Yeah, not all the time when I was that old, but like it was like, you know, more in my sleep. When I was younger, it was all the time. When I started to get into like school and stuff, I literally would like go like this to hide it. So I went to counseling and they helped me find a way to channel that. So rocks, crystals, they had me like just hold it and rub it so I didn't have the urge to suck my thumb. And they literally said it was a coping mechanism because of trauma. So because I haven't gotten into all the details, there were some rough situations with my father and stepmother and just a lot of moving and stuff. So set me up to a bad relationship in high school, and then I decided to get emancipated. And my mother was for it. My father wasn't. I did it because of my father. I was like the at-home babysitter, and I literally just was there for them to babysit. That's how it felt. Literally, there was some morning Saturday, like I'd wake up at like 7, come downstairs, and I had a note that they were gone for the weekend, and I had to watch the kids, you know, things like that. So it just, to move on, emancipated, you literally have to go to court. And then after that, I actually went back to court and got my last name changed so I could get jobs around here, because my father made it harder for me to get jobs around here with my previous last name. After I did that, I think it was right before I graduated. No, sorry. I graduated high school, moved on to cosmetology school. I think I had a few more months into cosmetology school when I get I get a message from on Facebook, asked me to do her hair and makeup for her wedding that was coming up in a few months. I was like, yeah, sure. And then it was like a week or two before this girl's wedding. She said that she didn't need me anymore. Never mind. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. And I said, oh, whatever. I'm not thinking about anything. Well, it was like 2 weeks go by. I get this random phone call from this girl's fiance. Okay. He's telling me how my boyfriend of 3 years has been fooling around with his girlfriend for so many years. And their wedding is now off, and that he thought I needed to know. Yeah, bomb drop. So my whole world spin upside down that day. And I'm so glad it did. It needed to. When they say that universe will push you in the right direction, well, they did. No one really liked this guy, so it all worked out for the better. But his parents literally, he was cheating on me a lot, actually, quite a bit. So I had confronted his parents. They literally gave me his car. They gave me money, and they said, get the hell out of here, girl. We're so sorry. So before he got home from work that day, I literally packed my stuff and left. So then I graduated hair school. I skedaddled my little butt to Florida, where I did some sponsorship jobs for Red Bull, did a little bit of stuff at Disney World for Tinkerbell. Then, very little stuff. Not even in the parades or anything, but all little stuff just to get I went on to Craigslist and was looking for money. And while I was doing all this, I literally had found someone online and I was dating him, and I went down there to visit him. Very sketchy, weird. Yeah, I know. But, we all have our times, guys. Funny story is that right after that, I was there for about 2 weeks just trying to figure out my life. My dad decided he wanted to move down there with my sister. I said, with everything going on, maybe I should. I chopped my hair off. Actually chopped my hair off in hair school. I booked it and I moved to Florida. Moved everything in my sister and my father to Florida. Very bad decision, you guys. It was probably 4 or 5 months, and my father had done some stuff there. I don't know all the info, but his biological uncle kicked us out of his house because he might have stolen some money. We were living out of his car and my car for a week or so. His coworker, he was actually doing my father had gotten a job working for the little houses or campers where you can, the big garages where you go and actually build them. He was actually one of the construction workers there. There was a lot of people there, and they're all, just trying to get a paycheck. So one of his coworkers told him that we could stay with him, all of us. Yeah. We get there, and there's literally like a little mattress on the floor, and there's bed bugs, and there's like pee stains on it. You guys, like this. I said, no, we're going to live in my car. So me and my sister lived in my car for about 2 more weeks. And then I got to a point where I was running out of money. My sister was about to start high school. I had no idea what to do. And being in Florida is kind of sketchy when it's just two young girls. So I called my mother and I told her what was going on because she had no idea. She said, sell your goddamn car and fly home. So I went to online, found one of those, fast selling car places. I think I sold my car for $600, flew it back home. So we said goodbye to my father. It wasn't really hard for me. Like, it was hard for my sister. He decided to stay down there. He kind of had a choice. And because he burnt all his bridges up here. So he had to stay down there. We came up here. At this point, I told my mom, I said, you need to take Kayla, she needs to be with her mother. She needs to be with an adult who can look after her for her high school years. And so my mom actually took her for her whole 4 years, loved it. I'm so happy. I kind of had a rock spell. Being with that one person my whole life, I kind of went down not my whole life, sorry, like as a young adult. I had only been with like one person and for a long relationship. After being 18, I had a little bit of I don't know what you call it, guys, but yeah, I had a moment where it wasn't really me. Needed a little coffee break. I hope you guys are enjoying this episode, and just a little of a commercial, I guess, a quick commercial break. If you don't know, I had started my own website. It is all my homemade goods and homemade items, and it's all very special to me. Started with like just having a child and learning the ingredients and everything, and realizing what literally makes him turn into an asshole and what else just makes him thrive. So that's kind of where it started. I hope you guys go check it out because it's one of my passions. I love giving people gifts, and I love sharing all these just little items. I put so much love into it, and then I love sharing it. So go check it out. I hope you love the store, love all the items, and again, thank you guys for supporting me. Love ya. Yeah, it sucks. I wish I didn't, but we're over it. Okay, move on. After that, I literally found I call him my husband. We're not officially married. His name's Cody. We've met 12 years ago, coming up 12 years ago at my apartment. We met inside my apartment. Roommates at the time. One of them's stepbrother is Cody. So that's how we met. He literally came with them one night to hang out. That's where it started. So just a thing, when you guys are trying looking for these relationships, they all just show up, and it's up to you to notice if notice it right in front of you. So we're going on 12 years strong now. Yes, we've had rocky moments, but we've never actually split up. We've lived together the whole time. And these are my grandmother's rings, but we're not engaged, we're not married. That's probably how it should be, because when we get into all of this government stuff, ties people down, and I see it through my family. My family is both divorced. His family is all divorced. It makes it for a rough life for everyone. Let's talk. A couple years ago, we were living in a house that we had bought together. I had gotten a phone call that my stepfather passed away. He shot himself bird hunting. His name was Mark Henderson. He was from Maine. Probably literally look the story up online and it will be there. That broke my heart. If I've ever been into a depression, it was then. Need a second. He was like my father. He was my father. He wasn't biological, but he put everything into our relationship. And that's a father. So he died. And because we weren't actually related and I called him my father because we were just so close, it hurt his kids, his original kids. I think it made them jealous about how much he loved me and my sister. So they blocked me off my father's account. They just kept me a part of everything for him, minus the actual funeral services in Maine. That was a very hard point in my life. Going through everything I already had gone through, meeting this person, and then let's talk about this, guys. When he was living, I had a dream probably 3 years prior that he was going to die. And I've always been a mystical, magical, history junkie, my whole life. I've been fascinated with magic and everything about it. All the movies, I probably know everything, every one of them. I watch them a million times. And I'm so into the divinity and the other side and all the woo-woo stuff. And when that happened, it was it literally crushed my heart. We ended up almost foreclosing on our house. It's just, I had done the paperwork for the homestead paperwork, and I did it with me, I guess, which you weren't supposed to do, because we're not married, but it asked you everyone in the home, that kind of thing where you do the right thing, but it screws you over. So our payments went up $800. It got to a point where we couldn't keep up and we were about to foreclose. So we literally did a quick sale and made no money off it. And it was November of 2019. So right before COVID. Can you imagine having a house and you sell it November, and then February COVID, and all the houses are just booming. So that hurt. And then come around to March of this next year, so November 2019, and we come over to March of 2021, I believe. 2020. My father, 2020. My father, Kevin, dies, and we weren't that close. We were when we were young. When I was younger, we were so close, and then up to high school years, and then we kind of drifted when I just kind of saw the BS and looked. I could just see all past it and all the lies and all the cheating, and I didn't want that for me. I don't want to be a part of it anymore, and it really starting to affect me. And when you're young, and people don't talk about this, but my father would cheat on my stepmom and my mom so much. And I don't know about my mom, sorry, about my stepmom. So he would take us to these women's places and introduce us, and then we would hang out and we'd go shopping. It was cool for me because I didn't have an older sister, but growing, getting older, I'd see these people or these women and I'd say, "Hi, how are you?" Because they were like, they meant a lot to me. They were like an older sister, and they'd look at me like I had 12 heads, like, "You remember me, and why the hell are you talking to me?" And my husband, Cody, he notices it sometimes too, because I just sometimes forget, like, okay, so I know this girl when my dad was cheating on her, and she was married and he was married, and trying to keep these other people's secrets, especially when you're young. So that was hard. That's what I'm talking about with there, because I had a son. He died when my child was a few months. March of 2022, my father passed away. Now I have 2 fathers that are gone, and I know that I won't have anyone like that down the road, if I ever do get married. Or my child that I just had. He won't ever get to meet his grandfathers. Sorry. Raw moment. Then my dog died. And that broke my heart, guys. My dog passed away, and he was so close to me. The veterinary in Littleton, New Hampshire, which is an hour and a half away, mind you. And I said, "Is it serious? Do we need to go?" And he goes, I don't know, maybe. And I said, "Okay, I just had a feeling that we needed to go." So I packed my stuff up, me and Keegan, woke him up, and we hit the car and we headed. Mother-in-law called me and asked if she wanted to take Keegan, and she wanted to have Dylan, who's my sister-in-law's boyfriend, to be with me, so he could ride with her on the way home after, so she wasn't alone. And she ended up being the one who hit him. We don't like to talk about this, but I'm just trying to get the story. On accident, she had, hit him with a car, and so Cody and her had rider with them, and they were riding to Littleton, and so me and Dylan and Keegan were in the other car, probably 20 minutes behind them. Maybe a half hour, 20 minutes, I think. And so I'm trying to keep my cool. I have my child in the back. I have my dog that I know something's wrong. And I'm trying to get to him. So we get there, and because of COVID, I can't go see him, and I can't go in. And it was probably 10 minutes later, they come out and they say that they need to have us sign paperwork to do CPR. So we're like, "Well, he's here, do CPR." Like, of course. So probably 5 minutes later, they come out and say that they weren't able to rescue him, save him. So I lost it there in front of my child. It was like losing. I can't describe it, guys, but it was hard. Anyway, I am powerful over that. I loved him a lot, guys. But so the last few years, I have had 3 people pass who have been very close to me. And now they're my 3 little birdies. And they have been pushing me to do this podcast and talk about myself and my life and all my knowledge and everything that I know, because I am a history fanatic. I love people. I actually know a lot of stuff. And I just don't know where to share it all. So yeah, this is all that's my life. Sorta. So after my dog died, we were living in his house, and it was kind of like there was just so much to do, and the landlords wouldn't do anything. So we just kind of were like, I wanted to be off grid. I wanted to live in a tiny house. I wanted to be in a camper and just be in our own place where I can have my own home, that if something was ever to happen, I had a home. Because I have moved when I was younger, when I was 18, me and my sister counted, and we had moved over 22 times before I was like 17. Okay, and that was just for the state of Vermont. Okay, that's not including Maine, Florida, like any of that. So I want a home that I can call home for a while everything in the world is going on. Having a child, I do not want to send him to childcare because of everything going on. And I don't think that's right. So yeah, with everything that I've been through and my whole life story, I have always wanted to be a child. If you've ever known me, I am a child at heart, and I love kids. Literally watch kid movies all the time on repeat, and my husband kids that I am a kid at heart, and I really am. So I am so glad that I had my son before my son died. I mean, my dog died, because I would be a total wreck. I don't know if I would be here, to be honest. And I know that's hard to say, but I had gotten to a point where I had so much go on in my life, and I didn't know when it was ever going to quit. Like, I've never been on vacation, you guys. I've never been anywhere to Caribbean. I've never had a tattoo. My father, I think, brought me to get my belly button piercing one day because he thought it'd be funny and cool. Just pick me up when I was babysitting and let's go get my, belly button done. And then he did my own nose. He pierced my own nose for me. And then I had my ears done when I was 6 weeks old. So I literally don't do much. I don't really do my hair. When my geek and my passions are literally history and making things and being in nature and dancing and just vibing and loving and exploring with all the senses in this whole world. Well, my point is, at the end of this, is that I over the years, I have noticed that people would always say that, you already have everything that you need to be the best person of your best version of yourself. And I never understood that until now. And now that I'm in this, so we are living in a camper, and I am the happiest time in my life. It's, minimal. I literally bake, and I'm in the kitchen all the time, and I'm with my child all the time, and we're pretty much homesteading. We're getting there, and it just fills my heart, and I see nature's all around me. And yeah, I want to share that with you guys. I want to share you my whole story, where I've been, and kind of why I started all of this. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked this episode. Stay tuned for my next one. Sorry, there's a lot of raw emotion in this one. I just wanted you guys to see kind of who am I, what am I about, why I started this. I hope you enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of your coffee. If you haven't already finished it, I got a little bit left of mine, and I hope you come back for the next episode. Love ya!